Okay, what's up? Happy Friday, everyone. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me on the edgeful Discord. To have in here, Assad. We got some questions going here. Talk about some current market conditions and also some news. Just some news heading into the open. Yeah, we do have Netflix buying Warner Bros. Film and streaming assets in $72 billion deal, which is, I mean, that's pretty crazy. Netflix announced Friday its recent deal to buy pieces of Warner Bros. Discovery, bringing a swift end to dramatic bidding process that saw Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast also vying for the legacy assets. So pretty interesting stuff there. I wonder what I haven't actually checked yet, but what Netflix's stock is actually. Yeah, Netflix still trading down pre-market at the moment, but yeah, perfect. Okay, you can hear me. That's brilliant. So we'll get into a few things here, as I said, speaking market conditions and so forth. But yeah, okay. So yeah, happy Friday, everyone. So just speaking on my week at the moment, it has been a little bit of an up and down week, my side. And I think something interesting to note is that markets just haven't really been breaking out. So we can see I'm green on the week at the moment. If we go, let's go this month. We can see that I'm green on the week, but had 2 days where just trades weren't breaking out, Tuesday and Wednesday, and kind of struggled a bit there. Monday and Thursday, kind of making up my gains there. But yeah, just markets have not been as favorable as I would have liked, or a lot of other traders as well. So we can speak a little bit on that. If we look at ES from yesterday, now we're short ES. At this level over here, got a little bit of a move down before getting that full move to the lows. But price has not really been, breaking out as much as we were last week. And that's kind of, I've been a little bit slow to adapt my side in terms of, breakout trades were working last week. And then this week, we've been kind of trading in a range. And I did tweet about it as well. Let's bring up my post about this. Credelli did tweet about this quite some time ago, but I'll bring it up as well over here. And we've always got to be adapting as traders. Let's bring up that tweet over here. So we can see over here, he speaks changing market environments. So where many traders go wrong, what worked for days or weeks or months suddenly doesn't work for a period of time. And that's when traders force things, overtrade and lose sight of their long-term goals. They just want to win for the day and keep fighting a battle they can't win. Everything works sometimes, but nothing works all the time. Believing in that will save you a lot of mental capital and actual capital. And I think it's so true. Markets have not really been super favorable for the way that I like to trade. Might be for you guys, but I think been a little bit more tough. I don't know how have you guys found this week, Tony? The guys in the chat here, anyone watching on the live streams on the socials, been a little bit more tricky. So I'm still grateful to end the week, or at the moment be green, but it has been a lot more difficult in recent times. For example, I spoke about my NVIDIA trade on Tuesday, I believe it was, where I was short. We didn't get any follow through, and then the AI news came out on Microsoft and wicked me out, and then we end up going lower into the day. So, you got to pick your spots a lot better in these market conditions, I do believe. And it has been a lot more difficult to do that, at least my side, for the style that I like to trade. Anyone have any thoughts on that, or how's your guys' week been? Reminder that I'm going to be live. Andre's off, but I will be live for the market open from 9 a.m. Eastern time today. Trading live and going over anything that we do see in the markets. But let's something that I have always spoken about is this volume picks up as the week goes on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to end the week. Do we get any follow through? But right now we just have not been getting that. Accounts have been up and down, but risk management has kept me in the game. That's really, really good. I think I can say the same thing. Maybe I'm trading quite a few of my personal capital as well as prop firm accounts. So that's why the big P&L. But yeah, it has been a lot more tricky. Let's just say a lot more tricky. But I think if you can I have my max loss limits in place on my accounts. If you got that, you're always going to stay in the game. That's the main one. And I think a lot of traders, even that are on my live streams that I work with and everything like that, have been finding the same process in terms of finding a little bit more tricky this week compared to most. And yeah, I think we just always have to be adapting as traders. But I think I won't lie, I'm looking forward to the weekend, just getting some rest. Sometimes we just need that rest and save the emotional capital. But yeah, morning, good to have you on. Any chats in the questions in the live chat, make sure to put them through. But I think this stat here with edgeful is pretty interesting in terms of this volume and range by weekday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of easing into the week, and then Thursday and Friday, that's where we kind of take off of. And just something interesting, I was looking at my statistics from, let's go last month. You'll have a look at my statistics from last month. I had a pretty decent month last month, but if you go to my report section, a lot of my trade, let's go day and time and trade time, was coming later on in the day, right? So market open is 4:30 p.m. South African time. Look, most of my profits are coming around 6, 7, sometimes 4 the first hour, first 30 minutes, and then 6, 7 is kind of where I'm making my money. So that's probably what I got to kind of stick to. My best ticker, can have a look at symbols. My best ticker from last month was actually the Dow, and then the Dow, and then the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500. So yeah, it's definitely different market conditions to last month as well. And we have spoken about ADR and how that's been impacted. If we have a look at ADR, so average daily range, let's just bring that up as well. We are trading above previous week's highs on ES at the moment as well. So that will be interesting. I mean, we're well above previous week's lows. Previous week's lows is back down at 620 on ES. We've just been ripping higher since last week, beginning of last week. But if we just put on the ADR tool as well, we have been trading in tighter ranges. Look at the ADR at the moment. This week's 20 points, 22 points, 27 points. Whereas last week, was trading in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. There you go, 54, 57, 56. So, yeah, it has been, the volumes kind of died off this week, and that's where it has been a little bit more tricky. What software do you use to copy trade the prop accounts? So personally, for my accounts, I use Traders Connect. Okay, and you can, for the CFDs, they also offer TraderVate accounts, which is pretty nice too. So I use Traders Connect. The link is in my bio. I'll put it up over here as well. But this is the one that I use for my CFDs and even my my trade copying. So Traders Connect, that's the one there that I use to copy trade all of my accounts personally. Between personal and prop as well. But yeah, that just is very interesting. If we go to the NASDAQ as well, we could probably see the same thing. Let's just reset that chart view. We can see, 113 points compared to last week. We were trading at an average daily range of 270 points. So volume has definitely died down. It's not unusual. If we go to the edgeful data on this as well, let's go volume trends. We can see that the volume, this is in the last 3 years, volume in December does drop off a little bit compared to, the summer months, the beginning, the winter months, January, February, March, April, May, summer for me, but in the US, and then, it definitely drops off October, actually the biggest one in the last 3 years, October, November, and then you see December kind of just drops off. So not unusual while we are seeing that drop in ADR as well. But I mean, just for example's sake, just look on the NASDAQ. Last week, we were trading at an average daily range of 294 points compared to where we are trading it now at, 170 points less, which is obviously an interesting stat. Anyone got any takes on that? Yeah. So just I'm just gonna put that in the chat as well about that ADR over here. There you go. So yeah, I mean that just makes us have to pick our spots a lot better, even because when volume dies up, you could be buying at the highs or selling at the lows, and we got to adapt and change as traders. So let's just go levels on ES right now. Do you use the same strategy on those choppy days, or do you have a different one? I use the same strategy. I just got to know when to pick my spots a little bit better on those choppier days. Sometimes no trading is actually even better, but yeah, I use the same strategy. I will adapt how I take entries, on that, but same concepts using the opening range and view app. So some levels to be watching on ES right now. Still, we're at previous day's highs. So here back up at 890. And then I would say for the shorts, we still, if we are coming down, those shorts at 850 have been holding up solid pretty well. And we have been buying dips. So on Wednesday with that AI news, we dropped off and we literally just bid all the way back up. And that's something where I think that first hour's opening candle continuation does help a lot in just using that first hour's direction to help me find trend for the day. Do you adjust your position lower or higher on choppy days? Definitely wider stops on choppier days. I personally, for me, I don't like to get the direction right, but be in a choppier market. For example, yesterday on ES, if you are shorting in a choppy market, it's easy to get wicked out before price going in your favor. I personally just like wider stops in general, but I know some guys trade with pretty tight stops. I personally do not. That's just my style. But I think if you're looking to short here on the break, you would want your stop at the highs here. So that would be like a 12-point stop. Whereas yesterday the opening range, also like the opening range yesterday was for 16 points, not massive. We've seen 40-point opening ranges on ES last week. I personally, so yesterday I was literally in a trade for quite some time. I shorted over here and just had my stop at the highs and ended up getting out on this flush down here. I almost bottom ticked it, which was quite nice. But yeah, on these choppier days, sometimes, just wider stops and just trying to play the direction. Position size, I don't like. Yeah, so position size on choppier days, I do not like to bet big. I'd rather bet big when markets are trending and I can get follow through. That's just me personally as well. These are good questions. Yeah, good questions. Morning. Good to have you guys on. So those are my levels on ES right now. I think coming into the open as well, if we take out 868, 870, we could maybe see lower down into that 850 level. But yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens coming into open. Stocks are green at the moment. Yeah, I do the same, and yesterday it saved me because it stopped 3 ticks below my stop loss and reversed into my favor. That's basically what happened with me on ES yesterday. I had my position was something like this. Now my stop up at the highs here. And then I ended up getting, I think I got out like at 840. I think my take profit was at 840. So I didn't bottom ticket exactly, but something like that. So yeah, got over one to one on my money, but I could have easily been stopped out if I had my stop like up at the highs here. So I went with a wider stop. It came close to my stop loss, 3 points from it before ending up flushing in my favor. And I actually added in as we started to come down over here, and yeah, got quite a nice little move there. So that was that nice P&L day yesterday. But, could have easily gone the other way if I had a tighter stop. Any questions in the edgeful Discord right now? I think also during this time, it's been a solid year for me trading wise, but also sometimes I think for traders that are, have had a little bit of a tougher run. We're always going to go in different runs as traders as well. Some, in the start of the year was a little bit more tricky for me. I just had my son and things were pretty busy. And then I eased into the year, started to pick up quite nicely from June. But I think, sometimes just saving the mental capital on those choppier days when you're not seeing anything clean is definitely something to have a look at. Yeah, make sure if you got any questions, I did mention yesterday on the pre-market stream yesterday that we do have the edgeful AI. I don't know if it is on your guys' back end, but right now it's pretty cool. So like, what are the 10 most popular reports, and that is coming as well to edgeful as well. Yeah, so stay on the lookout for that. That can definitely help. In terms of news today as well, we do have some USD news at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's 5 p.m. my time. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We do have some US dollar news. Does the edgeful AI provide current market analysis? Would have to see. Can you do this? Can you give me levels for ES to trade today? Let's see. Let's see if it does. I know, and this is obviously always going to be worked on and improved, of course. Andrea is. Yeah, I can't provide specific price levels for you to trade. That's something you need to determine yourself. Check what's in play. The screener is something that I use. Pull relevant report data. So not at the moment. But this screener is something that I obviously use in my own trading. And I think if you hit, so I want you to hit screener. Okay. Then make sure you select all. And then make sure this daily bias is turned on. This is what I like to use while I am trading. Is it will bring me the opening candle continuation and the previous day's range for a lot of the reports for the tickers that I do enjoy using. Everything is playing around the top 25% levels of the last 4-hour downswings on consolidation is more likely. Yeah. That makes sense. We can actually also put on, let's see if I got the, let's go like this. And you can also get the edgeful. I wonder if they do have the edgeful. So let's go invite only. I just want to see if they got the pivots over here with the edgeful. Pivot points. There we go. They do actually have it. Yep, they do. So let's just put that on like this. And let's go. I think you can go 2 days back. So let's go pivots from yesterday. And then we can, let's just make them white. It's just easier to look at. I know some guys, I saw the pivots on your chart as well in the chat. So let's go like that. So interesting, yesterday we're actually trading off of the daily pivot. So it's no surprise. Right now we are trading above the daily pivot, so maybe a move back towards that would not be unlikely. Yeah, the pivot points. It was something that I used to look at my trading quite often, a year ago or so. I haven't looked at it too much recently, but yeah, I mean, yesterday, no wonder we chopped around so much. It was coming off of that daily pivot. But yeah, we are trading back at that R1 at the moment on ES. And let's have a look at NQ as well. Yeah, look, right at that daily pivot point too. So that, I mean, it's just super interesting to have a look at. Maybe a move back off this R1 back towards the pivot point would not be unusual to have a look at. How do you kind of use them, Southfather? Nice name. In the chat. How do you kind of use your pivots? For me, I just use them as support and resistance zones, and then also levels to trade off of or towards. But I'm interested to see how you use them, or if anyone else that uses pivots in their trading as well. I use them for targets and entries if strength is shown through them. Yep, that makes sense. Kind of similar to how I was using them. Hi, James. Did you put the white solid bar on chart for pre-market high and low? Yeah, so that's a different one. That's not the edgeful one. But you can use the edge for pre-market highs and lows. I just used the previous day's high and low, that white solid line. So what Asada is asking, this white solid line coming across my screen, that's previous day's highs and lows. But you can use the edgeful one, and you can alter that too. I've had this on for a number of years now. Yeah, yeah. Anything that you guys are working on this week in your own trading as well? What's up with the yeah, streaming the charts all over the place. Good to have you on, Andrew. Just been a while, dude. How are you keeping? How are you keeping, my bro? It's been a minute. Are you still back in the trading? How's everything been on your side? But yeah, those are the previous day's highs and lows, those white solid lines. I don't think you can make them white. I'm sure you could make them white like that with the edgeful one too. But yeah, so something interesting as well to have a look at. The DAX just, ripping, absolutely ripping. I mean, from the opening range high breakout this morning, we are trading higher, over 100 points. So my algo taking the win on this morning. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, we got some questions coming through, in the chat. And again, I will be live on my YouTube channel as well as the edgeful YouTube channel to end of the week. Andrew's away, so probably just be an hour. And we'll go from there. So let's have a look here. What criteria when you took short below pre-market and below VWAP? Yeah. So yesterday I took the short because of, let's get my right timings on for orb yesterday. We're breaking through the opening range low, okay, as well as underneath the VWAP. So that was my reason for looking to short. So you can see I took my short over there like this. Okay. I'll stop at the high, as I said. So looking to short through opening range low as well as New York session VWAP. And I probably should have taken profits on that first little dump down. I didn't. So, that definitely worked. And I thought you were going to start to definitely move lower. But yeah, that's kind of the criteria that I am looking for. VWAP with the orb, and then obviously matching it in with the edgeful data. Good man, back on trading since August on the pop firm game, passing a bunch of fundings and blowing some lol still on the ground. Yeah, that's how it can be sometimes. Yeah, and I think, as I said, like we go through patches as traders, where you're running hot, you want to be taking payouts. I've locked in some nice payouts to end the year, probably just close us out, and then I'll still have the accounts. I'm still on the FTMO. Andrew, I've taken a couple of futures accounts too, but I don't like the trailing drawdown on futures, whereas the CFDs do give you the static drawdown. I just use one building. I just got done building my trade plans for RB and Orb using edgeful data. Next week, I want to start looking at other reports. Can't believe I didn't sign up for this when I opened the doors so long ago. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I love, I moved away from currencies beginning middle of last year into the indexes, and it's helped me a lot in terms of looking at the correct data and so forth, right? Great feedback there. But yeah, I think today, as I said, just keeping things simple. Coming into the open, I'm not going to look to push unless price is telling me that I need to, but I think I need to do a better job of not getting caught up in too much chop as we, not every single day. And I think that's the difference with great traders compared to good traders. I'm trying to get to becoming a great trader over the years, and I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. Started January will be my 8th year, but I've got a couple of things here to speak about, as well. Let's bring that up over here, like this. Okay, and then I've got another one over here that we can maybe bring up too. let's go like this. Where is it? Yeah. I'll get it here for you. Trying to find it here. Give me a sec. Give me a second. I'll find it, yeah. There's two things I want to speak about. Okay, we just have to get it up over here. Let me find it here for you guys. Okay, got it. So there's two kind of tweets from great traders of our time that have this is from Tom Canfield, but he says many of you are much better traders than you realize, but you haven't learned when to back off or totally shut down. You have had success, so you just keep trading, learning to read the market environment, to know when to press and when not to will be your next big level. And I think that's something that I'm continuously working on. Not every single day is a day to just continue to push and trade breakouts. And then also packs. Over the years, I've learned the less I trade, the happier I'll be. I do not need to catch every price change and wiggle. I can't try and catch every move. Markets are a constant river of opportunity. All I have to do is grab my chunk, protect it, and grow it. So, yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of end the stream. And make sure to take that into the rest of today and into next week. We're coming into December where price, can tend to slow down, and looking for those home run trades are not, particularly going to always be there with the lower volume. So taking one day at a time, learning when to push, when not to, is definitely going to be something that, I've got to continuously work on. I know that everyone's got work ons, and that's kind of been my big work on as well. Yeah, so good to check you on here, Andrew. It's been good to have you on here, and I appreciate everyone joining in and adding their inputs. I think the trading community, particularly, I think at least with Edgeful and the guys that I associate with, always trying to build each other up, be positive. This game can get lonely at times, and if you don't have that positive energy, positive vibes around you, it can be quite tough mentally. Last Father says, so true. After 4 years, I finally started getting the frame of mind as well. It has made a huge difference. Thanks for your time, James. Yeah, I agree. We're all going to have our struggles, and we're not going to be perfect every single day. It's impossible to be. LeBron James scored less than 10 points last night for the first time since 2007. You're not going to be on your A game every single time. And unfortunately, we'd like to, but we're just not. And that's something that we have to learn, and we have to realize that in the moment. And that's sometimes we've got to shut it down and not get caught trying to trade price action that isn't there. So that's my 2 cents. That's my little tip. We'll see you on stream in a bit for the live. And then, we'll see you guys there. We'll wrap it up. Appreciate your time. And we'll see you on stream in 30 minutes. Cheers, guys.